and I'm an expat living in Thailand. I've been here for almost 2 years now. And today we're going to talk about Phuket versus Bali. Um, because for a lot of digital nomads who are choosing a home base, Phuket and Bali are usually two really big destinations that they choose between. Let me just do an audio check really quick. Make sure the audio is working. Let's see. There are usually two really big destinations that they choose between. Okay, perfect. We're good. I think my mic might actually die during this, but we shall see. I'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, so Phuket versus Bali. I live in Phuket, right? That's where I live in Thailand. And I've been to Bali twice. So I definitely have an opinion on this. And for those of you who know me well, uh, know my opinion about Bali. But I'm here to share and help you make a decision whether you're a digital nomad looking to move, or if you are just choosing which destination to travel to. So the first question that I have is, if you had to move tomorrow, would you pick Phuket or Bali? 100% I would pick Phuket over and over and over and over again. And there are many, many reasons why I would choose Phuket over Bali. Where do I even begin? First is convenience and accessibility. Phuket and Thailand in general makes things really, really easy. Um, you know, it's very easy to get around. There are things readily available for you on literally every street, right? Things in Thailand are just so easy. And even when I moved here, um, obviously I didn't know before actually moving, but it was like the easiest transition of my entire life. And I didn't realize like how easy Thailand would make it for me, and how easy Thailand makes it for expats, for tourists. Um, Everything in Thailand just flows, and it's super convenient, and things are easy to get to. Whether you drive a motorbike or you're taking grabs and bolts, everything is easy to get to. Like, yes, there is traffic. There's traffic in Bali too. The traffic's actually way worse in Bali. But still, it's easy to get around. Now in Bali, things are more kind of like spread out. You, let's say you want to go somewhere, you get to that destination, and then if you want to go to the next, you have to kind of drive through a lot of shit to get to the next, like, civilized, nice area. So it's definitely, Bali's definitely way less convenient, and way more difficult to get around, in the sense of, how do I explain? In the sense of the infrastructure, right? Don't get me wrong. Like, the things in Bali that are built are so nice, like, and like aesthetic wise, in the nice areas, and where the restaurants are, and the gyms and the spas and the villas, like, the things that are built are so nice. But to get from point A to point B, you're literally driving through like shit. You're literally driving through just like undeveloped jungle, and there's like trash everywhere. Um, so where in Phuket, it's like, okay, Phuket is a huge island, right? So it might be a long drive to get from point A to point B, but the whole time you are driving through civilization. So in Phuket, it's much easier to get around, and the infrastructure is just way better throughout the entire island. Where in Bali, the infrastructure is great where it's great, but you have to drive through a lot of shit to get to those nice places. Hi, if you just joined, my name's Jillian. I'm an expat living in Thailand. I live in Phuket. I've been here for almost 2 years, and we're talking about Phuket versus Bali today because those are two really big destinations for digital nomads. If you have any questions about that or any questions at all, feel free to drop it in the chat or just say hi. Let me know who you are. Yeah, so I mean, before I even get into all the details, like I have to say, I just really don't like Bali. And I've been there twice. Once was on holiday the first time, and the second time that's where I went to apply for my DTV. But I just don't like Bali. Uh, it's just I feel like such a fake place. And people might say that about Phuket. Like Phuket gets has a bad name sometimes, and people say it's not really real Thailand or authentic Thailand. But I think that depends on which area of Phuket you're staying in or which area of Phuket that you're visiting, because there are plenty of local areas. I live in a local area, um, but Bali is really a fake place. Like Bali is a place I feel like that was built, maybe not originally, but they took it and they built it for tourism. And even the people there, like not the locals, but the foreigners, the expats there, like I just don't feel any authenticity from them. And like anytime I was there, I just felt like I was surrounded by just a lot of fake people living a fake life. Like, I don't know, like everybody kind of has like something to prove there. Um, and it just doesn't feel real. Where I feel like the people in Phuket, and I mean, listen, there's plenty of like superficial people and superficial shit that goes on in Phuket. But I feel like there is more opportunity to meet like real authentic people. Like I have met a lot of like real authentic people here. I've met a lot of superficial people here as well, but in Bali I don't feel like I met like one real person. Um but back to the questions. I'll get into all that. Like I have a lot of opinions on Bali. Um do I think Bali is overrated in 2026? I mean, I went in, when did I go? I went in 2024. I went in October 2024, and then I went for my DTV in November, December 2025, so that was recently. 100% I think it's overrated. 100% I think it's overrated. You see Bali, like you see pictures of it, and you have this idea in your head of what Bali is, and you get there, and I feel like that's not it. Like I said, there are like little nice areas around the island, but it's like that nice area is so small, and then you have to drive through shit to get to the next nice area. Like, I feel like it's not, I feel like it's 100% overrated. It is, in my opinion, a honeymoon destination. I mean, like, parts of it are absolutely lovely. And if you're gonna go there and rent a pool villa and have that type of experience, then, you know, Bali's nice for that. Like I said, it feels like a honeymoon destination. It feels like a holiday, which is great for a holiday. But in terms of living there, like I wouldn't want to feel like that in my everyday life. Like, yes, I am blessed to feel like every day is a vacation for me. But I don't know, if you've been to Bali, you probably know what I'm talking about. And like from what I've heard, anybody that comes from Thailand to Bali kind of says the same thing. Um, but yeah, so in my opinion, it just feels like a honeymoon. Not really good in terms of living your everyday life. Um, so yeah, I 100% think it's overrated, and I even said that from the first time I went. The first time I went, I came from East Java because I traveled to East Java to hike Mount Bromo, and Mount Egan, which was incredible. But East Java is also shit unless you're um, hiking a volcano or something like that. But then from there, I went to Bali because my plan was, let me do these crazy hikes, because you have to like start the hike at like 1 in the morning because you do it for sunrise, and put myself through hell, and then go to Bali and relax. So that's exactly what I did in Bali. I went to Bali and I relaxed. And the first time around, like I did like it, but I did have the feeling like, oh, okay, like I can't wait to go home and get back to Thailand. But I did enjoy myself because the purpose of it was for a holiday. Um, and during that time in Bali, I went to Ubud. And I have to say, Ubud is very nice. Like, if you do go to Bali, I would say make sure you stay in Ubud. It really is gorgeous and peaceful. Um, I did like it there. Would I live there? No, but that's probably my favorite area of Bali. Um, Again, it was nice. Do I feel inclined to return? No. Um, and I just relaxed there. I saw the rice fields there. From there, I went to Nusa Penida, which is a small island next to Bali. They have some like iconic beaches there, so I did a little 2 nights in Nusa Penida, and then I came back to Bali and I went to Uluwatu. And a lot of people go to Canggu in Bali, but I chose Uluwatu because, for a lot of reasons, like I thought from the research I've done on Canggu, I just felt like it was a little young for me. Um, I'm a little bit older than the crowd that goes to Canggu, and I heard that the traffic is like crazy. The beaches aren't that nice there. I mean, I'm a beach person, so I want to go where the beaches are nice. So Uluwatu felt like a better alternative, and I found like a really good gym there. So that's what I did. I went to Uluwatu, and that was nice too. That's where I really went to the gym. I went to the famous Bamboo Fitness. Um, and yeah, for the holiday, it was great. But by the end of it, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go back to Thailand. Now, the second time I went, I went for strictly business. I went to apply for my DTV visa. So, in that sense, I wasn't on holiday. So, I was able to get a feel of what it would feel like to live in Bali, because now I wasn't traveling for holiday. I was traveling for business. So, I wasn't going around doing touristy things. I needed to stay in my daily routine just in Bali, right? I needed to go to the gym every day. I needed to eat clean every day. And I needed to work online at night. So I wasn't doing like the touristy things I was doing the first time around. And I just felt kind of stuck there. Like I couldn't wait to hear if my DTV was approved and get back to Thailand, because going to the gym every day, I mean, the gym is gorgeous there. Bamboo Fitness. If you do go to Uluwatu in Bali, like you have to go to Bamboo Fitness. Um, I mean, it's gorgeous. The aesthetic is amazing, but that gym is so packed too. Like, it's so packed. It's so annoying to like get a spot to put your mat, and like all the guys are shirtless and sweaty, which might be somebody's dream, right? But I honestly think it's like a little, it's more of like it's a little show offy. Like, all these guys are walking around shirtless everywhere. And I know it's Bali, right? But people forget that you are in a South East Asian country that is like really centered around culture, it's a little disrespectful to just be walking around shirtless everywhere. Like, just put a freaking shirt on. I don't know why those guys just annoyed me. Like, everybody walking around shirtless. I don't know why. Like, it just irked me because I felt like it's just people trying to puff their chest out. Like, look at me. And I don't really like that. It's like everybody there thinks like they have something to prove. And at the end of the day, I truly believe like if you're great and you're successful at what you're doing, like you don't have to show it off like that. Um, I don't know. I just don't vibe with people like that. Like, I don't know. It's not for me. Any conversation you have with somebody, it feels fake. It feels forced there. Um, I wasn't a fan. Um, I chose Bali though for the DTV because I knew I could go to the gym there and I knew I could eat somewhat clean there. Um, and I didn't know how long the application was going to take. So I wanted to make sure I was in a place where I could still do my routine comfortably. That was the most important to me. So that's why I chose Bali. But during that time, like I really felt like what it would feel like living in Bali, and it wasn't for me. Also, driving a motorbike in Bali, I mean, a lot of foreigners do it. Maybe I'm just like super careful. People come for me all the time when I say don't drive a motorbike here, don't drive a motorbike there. Like, they call me a typical woman driver or whatever the hell they want to call me. But the roads in Bali are really bad. Like, they're all ripped up, the potholes are crazy, and people say that like Thais drive crazy, but I I trust the Thais so much. Like, whenever I do get on a motorbike taxi, like I always feel safe, to be honest. In Bali, I'm like holding on for dear life. The way they're swerving around the potholes and all of that. Um, I feel like the roads are really not safe. And then, especially at night, the roads are completely dark. Like, there are no street lights in most of the places. Like I said, like, you have to drive through a lot of shit, like, a lot of jungle with, like, just a lot of rubbish everywhere. And it's completely, like, pitch black. So, I wouldn't drive a motorbike there. Who knows? Maybe if I lived there. I said that when I moved to Phuket. So, but I do drive now. So maybe I would feel differently if I lived there, but I don't know. Like, the roads are crazy, and like the amount of foreigners that are driving, that's what honestly really scares me because I just don't trust foreigners driving, even here in Phuket. So yeah, that was, what question was that? Let me see. That was if I think that Bali's overrated. Um, Cost of living. Let me just check. Okay, the mic is still on. Didn't die yet. Cost of living. Okay, so that's a big question. Like, honestly, some things are cheaper in Bali, some things are cheaper in Phuket and in Thailand. Um, where do you actually get more for your money? Um, in terms of accommodation, both places are actually, if you want a nice, comfortable accommodation, honestly, both places are pretty pricey. Like, pretty equally priced, in my opinion, um, in terms of accommodation. Uh, I guess if you lived in Bali, it would be more of a priority to have like that pool villa, because I feel like if you don't have that in Bali, like, uh, if I lived in Bali, I would need that because there's just, I feel like I wouldn't want to leave the house so much because it's so difficult to kind of get around, um, and do just like normal errands and things like that. So I would definitely want that upscale accommodation in Bali, but in terms of those types of accommodation, I think they're equally priced. In terms of transport, like Grab, because Bali and Phuket both have Grab, the Grabs are actually so much cheaper in Bali. Um, when I was in Bali, I was taking Grab motorbikes everywhere, and they were like ridiculously cheap. And even like the cars to and from the airport or when I had to change accommodation, they were like crazy cheap. So transportation, I don't know how much it costs to rent a motorbike there because I haven't, but transportation, in terms of Grab, Bali is way cheaper, way cheaper, surprisingly. Or maybe not surprisingly, because Phuket is known to be expensive. So, but I guess like coming from Phuket, when I go there and then I order the grabs and stuff, I'm honestly always so surprised how cheap it is. Um, so yeah, so you definitely get more for your money in terms of transport in Bali. That's for sure. Um, Food. Uh, Again, it depends. Like, so I don't really know too much about Balinese food or Indonesian food. So when I do go to Bali, I like to eat Western food, and I like to, you know, eat clean, stay on my diet. So while I was there the last time, I was ordering a lot of Grab from like health food restaurants, because again, the last time I went, I wasn't on holiday, so I wasn't like taking myself out to dinner every single night. Um, but honestly, that added up. Like when you want to eat clean and when you want to eat Western food in both of these places, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. So because I actually live in Phuket and I do my grocery shopping and I kind of just like have my system and routine down, I definitely spend less money on food in Phuket. I don't know. I didn't do any grocery shopping in Bali, so I don't know how much that comes out to. I know grocery shopping in Thailand is more expensive than eating out if you're eating locally, but um but in terms of eating out, both places are actually pretty expensive. The only thing I would say is that if you're eating on a budget, and meaning you're going to eat like locally, in my opinion, I think Thai food is far superior. Like, if you're on a budget and you're eating local food, Thai food I think is way better than Indonesian food. Um, I mean, I don't have that much experience with Indonesian food, but when I was in East Java, East Java is like real Indonesia. Bali is like fake touristy Indonesia. Um, the food was absolutely disgusting in East Java. Like I think that whole time, like I barely ate anything, and that was really bad because I was doing like crazy extensive hikes. But this food was very sketchy in East Java. But in Bali, there is amazing food. I have to say that. Um, I think it in terms of like Western food and health food, and like going out to restaurants, I actually think that the restaurants and stuff are better in Bali than they are in Phuket. Because I remember when I was there on holiday, I was going out to dinner every night, and I think like every single meal that I ate was like phenomenal. So I have to say the food scene in Bali is, in terms of Western food, is really good. I was a fan of all the restaurants I went to, but if we're talking about where to live, um, for me, I'm not going to be eating out every night, and I'm not a foodie, so that's not a really a big factor in deciding. But if you're planning on going on holiday and you're choosing between Phuket and Bali, and nice restaurants and good food, Western style food is a big priority to you, you can get a lot of good Western food and nice restaurants in Bali. And you can get it in Phuket as well, but just my honest opinion, I thought the restaurants were nicer and the food was better in terms of that in Bali. Then again, when I'm in Phuket, I'm home, I don't really eat out enough that I haven't really tried like so many restaurants. So I don't know, but I know that the food scene is really good in Bali, 100%. And you can get a lot of health food and clean food in Bali. Like, there's smoothie bowls everywhere, and the there is a really big gym culture, and it's health centered, so it is easy to eat. I'm going to say clean in Bali, and the reason why I say that is because I never trust that anything that's clean is actually really clean if I didn't see what you put in it. Like, I don't know what oils you're putting in it and things like that. So, but if you're on holiday, it's easy to eat clean. Um, let's see what the next question is. Okay, so for lifestyle, right? I have a question. Which place actually feels relaxing day to day? Um, well, I have to say Phuket, and people might disagree with me, but in my day to day living here, I feel extremely relaxed. And then again, I don't live in Patong, okay? I don't live in a busy area. I used to live in Chalong, and which is a more busy area than I live in now. And I still felt very relaxed there. But now that I live in a quiet local neighborhood, I feel so relaxed every single day of my life. Um, and there are parts of Thailand that are chaotic, but I feel like even if you're in the chaos, it's the culture here. Everything in Thailand is very like sabai, sabai, like relax, relax. Like, even though there's chaos in certain areas, um, the culture is centered around like peace. So everything here is just like done at your own pace, and things get done when they get done, and there's no rush, there's no urgency. So it's really the culture that makes me feel relaxed every day. Um, in Bali, like, you have the opportunity to feel relaxed every day if you set up your accommodation that way, if you set up your itinerary that way. Um, but I feel like because of the demographic there, for me personally, um, I just didn't feel so relaxed all the time, like the way I do here. And I mean, I feel like the reason why I feel so relaxed in Phuket and in Thailand in general is carries so much more weight and has so much more meaning than just like I'm laying by the pool or I'm sitting by the beach. Like, it's an energy thing, right? The energy in Thailand is just so relaxing and calming, and take your time and don't rush. And I say that all the time about Thailand. So, yeah, I've actually never felt more relaxed in my entire life than I have since living in Thailand. I mean, I'm coming from New York City, so urgency is real in New York City. Um, everybody's in a rush, everybody's always stressed. So, coming here and now being here for almost 2 years, obviously that stress just didn't disappear from me overnight. It took time, but it's the energy here that makes me feel at peace and makes me feel relaxed. Um, so I think that's a really big deal. You don't want to feel at peace just because you're laying by the pool, because that's like a physical thing that's making you feel at peace. I'm feeling at peace and relaxed because of my entire my entire environment, including the energy, which I think is most important. And that was something that I was really missing from my life back in the United States, back in New York. So I'm super grateful for that. Let me just do another audio check because I'm ranting and I just want to make sure we can hear everything. Let me then just like I'm laying by the pool yeah, we're good. We are good. Yeah, so very grateful for the energy that Thailand brings me and how it's really honestly changed me. Honestly changed me. It has like relaxed my nervous system. Um, I could never feel like so tense and stressed and on edge ever again. Like anytime anybody makes me feel like that, I mean, I just have to distance myself. Hi, if you're just joining, my name's Jillian. I'm an expat living in Thailand, specifically in Phuket. I've been here for almost 2 years now, and today we're talking about Phuket versus Bali because those are two destinations that digital nomads and travelers kind of coming to this region of the world decide between. So if you have any questions about that or any questions about Thailand in general, just feel free to put it in the chat. I'm happy to help. I live in Phuket, but I've been to Bali twice. So I do have a large opinion on the topic. And to sum up what we've talked about so far, in my opinion, Phuket wins over and over. So we've talked about cost of living. We've talked about like what the people, the community in both destinations, and now we're kind of talking about lifestyle and which place makes you feel more relaxed. And to sum it all up, Phuket and just Thailand in general does it for me, and it's not because of the scenery, right? It's because of the energy and the culture here. That's what really makes you feel kind of at peace in Thailand. Um, the next question I have is, where do you get less stress living long time? And that's similar to the previous question. 100% Phuket, 100% Thailand. And I mean, I have never felt less stressed in my entire life. And I have lived a long life of stress living in New York City. I can't even tell you how much of my life there was based on stress. And being here for 2 years now, I don't even know what stress feels like anymore. I mean, yes, of course, like life is not perfect and there are things that I get stressed about, like I am working remotely and I am trying to build my brand and my YouTube channel and my socials and doing UGC. I just spent the last 2 days filming a UGC video for a company, and I was kind of stressed about that because they're actually paying me. When I make my own content for myself, I put a lot of effort into it, but it's what I like. But doing it for a company, it's there are rules to follow, and I'm getting paid for it, so I want it to be really, really good. I want it to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist, so like that perfectionist in me you know does cause a little stress. I was a little stressed about that video, so it's not like my life is perfect, but it's nowhere near the stress that I was feeling living in New York City. I feel like there's just a huge dark cloud over New York City, a huge dark cloud over the United States and the West in general, where you're programmed to feel stressed. You're programmed to be miserable in the United States, in New York City, in the West in general. And Thailand has eliminated that for me. And I am eternally grateful for that, for myself, for making the decision to take the risk, to take the leap, to move here. I mean, it has been the best decision I have ever made in my entire life. Like, I have never felt better and never been happier and never been less stressed. And a lot of that is also, the decision to leave the classroom and quit being a classroom teacher. I mean, more on that on maybe like another live stream. I can talk about all of that unless somebody in the chat has any questions about that. I'm happy to answer them now. But back to the topic at hand. The next question I have, this is a good one. Beach quality. Phuket versus Bali. Okay. So, when I went to Bali, those of you who know me know that I'm a beach person. The beaches in Bali are stunning. They're stunning. But you cannot swim there. Okay? You can't swim there. I'm not one of these people who is laying on the beach frying myself and not getting in the water. Like, I need to get in the water. I need to be swimming. So you cannot swim in Bali because the waves are so insane. Like, they are insanely dangerous. Bali is a surfer's destination, right? A lot of surfers go there because the waves are so crazy. Hi, Michael. How are you? Okay, so the waves they're insane. Like, they're so strong. And people go there to surf, but they'll knock you out. I was on one beach in Bali for sunset, and I took my flip-flops off and put them like all the way in the back of the shore, because I wanted to put my feet in the water, and I was taking videos of the sunset. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, a huge wave came and snatched up my flip-flops. Like, the ocean ate my flip-flops, and they were gone. They were gone. Like, I was looking around. There was no way I was getting these flip-flops back. And this beach was all the way down these stairs. And is it really? In Florida, are the waves really crazy? Because when I went to Florida, like, I've been to Florida a few times, and like the waves were, but I was able to at least get in the water in Florida. In Bali, I could not get in the water. So the ocean ate my flip-flops, and no, it was funny, and I was like, oh shit, now I'm barefoot. So I had to leave the beach and I had to walk on the street barefoot. My plan that night was to go watch the sunset on the beach, and then the restaurant I was going to for dinner was just like a 10-minute walk away. So I was going to walk, and I did, but I had to walk barefoot. But thank God on the way, there was a Havaianas flip-flop store, so I just bought another pair. But I did have to walk quite a distance on the dirty street, like the dirty ass street, barefoot. And it was also uphill, pretty steep. But when the ocean ate my flip-flops, at first, like, I did panic because I'm like, oh my God, I have no shoes. But then I did remember on the ride over passing a Havaianas store. So I was like, oh, I think that's on the way to the restaurant. But I had to walk a while without it. And there's a lot of monkeys around. Not that the flip-flops would have protected me from that, but I don't know. Being barefoot, I feel like naked, and I didn't like that. It's depending, honestly, at Niping when I was younger. My dad had me on his shoulders or something, and basically, oh, so like you were all the way on his shoulders and the waves were hitting you. Your dad is also tall. So that's pretty strong. That's pretty big. Because, oh my God, Michael, in both places, that's something I have to warn you about coming to this area of the world. In Bali and in Thailand, the monkeys are insane, and I'm not kidding you, the monkeys are super dangerous. Like, people go to these places like called Monkey Beach, and they want to like see the monkeys and play with them. The monkeys are vicious. I say that's the number one thing you have to be afraid of in Thailand and any of these countries are the monkeys. Like, they attack people, they bite people, they carry rabies. I was on the beach once in, not in Phuket, but in Koh Lanta, another island here, and I was alone, and I'm laying on the beach, and this couple, they were there. They went into the ocean. The monkeys came out of the jungle, and they unzipped this couple's backpack, took out a plastic bag, and ran back into the jungle. They literally unzipped it themselves, took out the bag, and ran. And then people were trying to like scare the monkeys away. They were like charging at them and hissing at them and like yelling at them, but the monkeys aren't scared. They charge right back. Like, they will charge right back at you. So I don't know, but that was my cue to leave the beach that day. Once I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm leaving, especially because I was alone. Like, now I can't go into the water because nobody's protecting my bag. But that's the thing. I mean, you're not going to see monkeys everywhere you go, but I have witnessed firsthand how dangerous they are and how like they can actually unzip your bag and take your belongings. So I don't know what those monkeys stole from that couple, but I hope it was nothing important like their passport or their phone or anything like that. Um, so yeah, the monkeys are something. Yeah, no, I stay away from the monkeys. Like, tourists love them. There's this famous beach in Phi Phi Islands called Monkey Beach, and they're all over the beach. But I mean, you should look up TikToks of the monkeys on Phi Phi Islands, and you'll see a lot of videos of people getting attacked by them. Like, they are vicious. I would stay away from Monkey Beach. The beach is beautiful. If you go there, just get off the boat and stay in the water, but don't go onto the beach. Um, and play with the monkeys. Yeah, I don't go near them at all. They're probably, that's the number one thing. There's a temple where monkeys basically live and people give you oh, wait, where is that temple? Is that in Thailand or is that in Bali? Because that actually sounds familiar to me, but I've obviously never been. I'm not gonna go to a temple uh, where monkeys live. Stealing a kid before? No, but they're in Thailand, they're in Bali, they're in a lot of like Southeast Asian countries. So I believe that. It- that's okay. I'm gonna look it up later and make sure I stay away from that temple. Um, but yeah, I'm not surprised. Like that, stealing a kid, like they steal everything. Like, they've stolen people's phones. Yeah, no. I mean, and I'm just most concerned about getting bitten by one because they do carry rabies. So that's my biggest fear. Like, I can hold on to my belongings, but I can't really stop them from attacking me or biting me if they wanted to. So that's why I'm scared of them. Like, I don't want to get bit by a monkey and get rabies. But oh, it's in Thailand. Okay. I have to stay. I'm never going to that temple. I'll tell you that much. Um, that and the rat temple in India. There's a rat temple in India. Ugh. Oh my God, I would never. And you live in New York City, so you know all about rats. And like, I think growing up in New York City, that's why I have like rats are like my biggest fear. And in India, there is a rat temple, because they worship rats in India, and you have to go in there barefoot, and there are just rats all over the place. I would never go there. Um, okay, yeah, send it to me. Send it to me. I'll see where it is, and warn people about it. Yeah, a rat temple in India. It's so gross, and I've seen it before. I mean, I haven't been to India yet, but I saw it. There's this. You've only seen two rats before in your life? Yeah, you have to go in barefoot. Barefoot. It's so disgusting. I'll send you a clip. The reason why I know about this temple is because I watched this show called The Amazing Race. And on the first season, they have to do a challenge where one of the partners has to go in there. Ugh, oh my god, it's so disgusting. But you've only seen two rats in your whole life. If that's actually true, Michael, that's crazy because you're from New York City and I'm from New York City, and the amount of rats I've seen in my life is disgusting. I even saw one on a field trip with Brooklyn Studio. We had to take the subway to the city, and we were walking down the subway, and there was a huge one just walking down the stairs with us. So, yeah, so the monkeys in both places. So in Bali and in Phuket and in Thailand, the monkeys are real. But I saw more monkeys in Bali than I did in Thailand because I think, well, excuse me, Michael Katz, you live in an upper class neighborhood. Um, excuse me. I mean, oh my God, the amount that I've seen in New York City is insane. Um, but the monkeys in both countries, I saw more monkeys in Bali though. Uh, you might be oblivious because okay, you may live in an upper class neighborhood, but you go to school in a neighborhood where I've seen a lot of them, especially in the subway station. You don't take the subway though, but I don't think you do. But on 86th Street, like in that subway station, I've I've seen a lot of them, and I heard the students at studio, they would always tell me that they saw them um, all the time. So yeah, but I definitely saw more monkeys in Bali. I guess like here in Thailand and in Phuket, it's more of like if you're in a place like Phuket or Bangkok or one of these more touristy places, you go see the monkeys. Like I guess like Michael, you just told me there's a monkey temple, so like you would go there to see them, or there's a beach in Phi Phi called Monkey Beach. You would go there to see them. I would, I would uh, see monkeys in Bali just like all over. Hold on, you sent it to me. Let me see. Let me see. The famous temple known for monkeys that. Okay. Hmm. I don't even know where that area is in Thailand. So that must be that seems like it's really like a remote place. So yeah, right. The zoo is enough. Yeah. No, you don't want to see them in the wild. So um, that was that question. I forget what the question even was. Oh, we were talking about the beach and then my flip flops and the barefoot and the monkeys. Um, the next question I have, or I'll take any questions from you guys in the chat. But the next question I have is Bali just an influencer hype at this point? 100%. Bali is just run by influencers. Like it is just everybody with a tripod walking around like I said, Bali is a very fake place. It's not authentic. There's a lot of fake people that live there, a lot of fake people that go there, and it's just like fake influencers. And people might say the same about me, that I'm an influencer, but I don't think that I'm generating fake and phony content. Right? I'm being real. These people and these influencers in Bali are just like putting on a show, and like I said, I couldn't make any real, genuine connections in Bali when I was there. Um, hold on, I hear something. What the hell is that? See, now I'm getting paranoid. I'm hearing noises. I'm out here also in the jungle, so who knows what's out here. Um, but, but yeah, it is just like it's just overrun by influencers and fake influencers. It's not like a real place. Definitely not to live. That's what all influencers. But I understand what you mean. Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, listen. I also you walk around with the tripod sometimes too, and like I have to set it up for myself. But you're right. Maybe all influencers say that they're generating real content, but I don't know. The people in Bali, like if you talk to them, like they are very phony. It's like they're putting on a show, they're putting on a persona. I feel like anybody that talks to me here, I'm gonna talk to them like myself. I don't know. Um, yeah, Bali is a tourist trap. It's like a honeymoon destination. Like when I was there, I felt like this feels like a honeymoon. It just doesn't feel like a real authentic experience. It's parts of it are beautiful, um, but the pictures that you see on Instagram of Bali is not what all of Bali looks like. It's just what pieces of it look like. And I do think it's overrated and overhyped, and I would never live there. I would never live there. Um, but a lot of people, if they're moving abroad or traveling to this area of the world, they have a hard time choosing between Phuket and Bali. Both places are uh, really big, like digital nomad destinations. In my opinion, Phuket or anywhere in Thailand really is just better. You just get a more authentic, like local experience. If I lived in Bali, honestly, I wouldn't even really feel like I was living in um, like living abroad or living in a third world country. I would just feel like I'm living in a resort or living uh, on a vacation. But I mean, for me, being an expat, the point of moving halfway across the world was to really like kind of like culture shock myself and really like immerse myself in another country's culture, not just live in a fancy place. And but maybe that's what some people want. Maybe that's what some people want. It's just I want to have a cultural experience, and I want to learn. So yeah, just my opinion. Um, Hopefully I don't have to go back to Bali again. I've been twice. I really don't want to go back. Um, Let me see what the next. Uh, 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 this is a good question. If you're introverted, where should you not go? And I would definitely say Bali, because you're I can be I'm like an ambivert. I can be extroverted when I want to be, but honestly deep down, I actually am kind of really introverted, and people wouldn't really know that about me. Well, so the first time I went, Michael, I was on vacation. But the second time I went is when I changed my jobs here in Thailand. I had to apply for another visa, and when you apply for another visa, you can't do it in Thailand. You have to go to another country. You can't physically be in Thailand. So I went to Bali. I mean, I could have went somewhere else, but the reason why I went to Bali was because I mean, I knew it was what it was, but I knew they had a good gym there and that they had healthy food, and I was going strictly for business. I wasn't going on a vacation. So, I chose Bali just because I knew I could have like my daily routine. It's not my favorite place, but I mean, I could have went to Vietnam, but Vietnam is like really like chaos, and it's hard for me to find good food there. It's hard to find a good gym, so that's why I chose Bali. I guess I would never really have to go back. I mean, maybe eventually if I have to like extend my visa, I might have to leave the country and go somewhere, and depending on how I feel, like I would maybe want to choose Bali for the same reasons, because I could, yeah, yeah, there are perks of it being a tourist trap. Like I'm able to find a good gym and things like that. Um, but and healthy food and good food. Like the food is really really good in Bali. Like the restaurants, like Western restaurants, not really Balinese food, not traditional food, but there's real like okay, in Bali I was able to find good pizza. Like I'll just put it that way. But um so or like I don't know if maybe I would go back to Bali if somebody was planning a trip and wanted me to come with them, like maybe I would want to go with them, but I have no desire to like go back. People, Bali is like Australia's Miami. That's what I've heard. So the way us like New Yorkers treat Miami as kind of like a weekend getaway or things like that, Australians treat Bali like that, and I guess like it's very close to me, so I could also treat Bali the same way. It it takes me 3 hours to get there, right? And it would take me in New York like 2 hours to get to Florida. So I could treat Bali as like a weekend getaway, but I just won't. I honestly, I just wouldn't. Some people do though. So we'll see. I'm not gonna go back to Bali anytime soon, but can't say I wouldn't go there again. Like if I was in a visa situation. Um, yeah, and that's another reason why I feel like Bali is like just super touristy because people are treating it like the Miami of this region. Um, so so yeah, let's see the. Okay, so I was talking about if you're introverted. So people wouldn't believe it about me because I'm a teacher, so I've had to do public speaking like every day for the past 10 years. I'm an influencer, I'm putting out content every day, I'm going live, making shorts. People would think that I'm extroverted probably, but and I can be sometimes when I'm comfortable. I'm extroverted around people that I've gotten to know. I'm extroverted around my students once we get to know each other. Um, and I'm extroverted when I feel comfortable. But when I don't know you and um, I'm like in a new scenario, I'm actually pretty introverted. I can tend to stay quiet sometimes until I feel you out. Um, so being partially introverted, I have felt more comfortable adjusting in Phuket and in Thailand. I feel like if you're an introvert, Bali's definitely not the place for you, especially because like all of those influencers are walking around and the thing is people aren't really approachable in Bali. Um, in Thailand, especially the locals and even the expats, like there are a lot of superficial people here as well, but there are a lot of like real and raw people. And especially the locals, locals are just so warm and welcoming in Thailand that if you're introverted, like you wouldn't really feel like timid or shy to approach anybody here. At school, you really extroverted, but when you can't take bullshit because of us, you become very quiet. That's hilarious. No, like, okay, so here's actually the thing, Michael. At school, I was super, super extroverted with the students. But when it came to like the other teachers, not regarding Miss Tiffany or Miss McNichol, but like you've never seen me in staff meetings. Like maybe you can ask your dad. I would tend to be really, really, really quiet in staff meetings. Um, and I wouldn't say much, like even if I had ideas. I think back then also, like I would doubt myself a lot, like doubt if my ideas were good in staff meetings because a lot of people, and I'll just say this, math, math teachers are people who need time to think before blurting out an answer because math people are no bullshit people. Math is the truth, and like we speak the truth, we speak facts. Now, this is no shade to English teachers or social studies teachers. I like them as people. But in my personal opinion, English and social studies are fluff subjects. Um, Fluff subjects, like English and social studies, like those are subjects you can bullshit a little bit. So I feel like in staff meetings, a lot of people who were vocal were the English and social studies teachers, because I feel like they're just good yappers. Like they're good at like having the answer right away. Whereas as a math teacher, if you ask me a question, like I don't necessarily know the answer right away. I need to think about it for a while. I mean, I could answer right away with some bullshit, but but like I'd rather think about my answer and give you facts. Well, the self-doubt is so relatable. Yeah, like I mean, you should have seen me in high school, Michael. I was so shy. I had so much anxiety too when I was in high school. I would never ever raise my hand to answer a question. I was so terrified. I was so terrified of getting the answer wrong or being judged. And I mean, I wish I could tell my younger self now, like, it literally doesn't matter. Um, and it doesn't even matter if I get something wrong. Like, who the hell cares? Like, that's why you're in school. That's why you're there to learn. Um, but even as an adult, like in staff meetings, I would have like that self doubt. And especially when you're surrounded by like English and social studies teachers that are yappers and they just answer questions and sound like they know everything. And some of them actually really think they know everything in the world, just saying. Um, and well, that's good. That means I've come a long way, Michael. I'm glad because, and even in terms of like public speaking, when I was working in the Thai school here, there were so many instances where they would put me on stage with a microphone. That is my biggest fucking fear. Being on a stage with a microphone and having to public speak that way. Like I would be sweating like, "Oh my God, like I have to get on the microphone." But towards the end of my time there at that school, I just started to get really, really comfortable on the microphone and not even overthink, like just talk, you know, off the fly, like off the top of my head, and not try to like rehearse a script or whatever, and just have more confidence in myself that I've been doing this for a long time and I actually know what I'm talking about. But I do remember sitting at the staff meetings in Brooklyn studio and having self-doubt about answering some of the questions. Um, so if you are introverted, Bali's not the place for you because people are unapproachable there. But in Thailand, people are very, very approachable and everybody's willing to help here. So if you're introverted, Phuket and Thailand is the place for you. But other than that, that really sums up um, my Phuket versus Bali chat. Michael, I am going to start live streaming tomorrow. Well, right now, what is it? Right now it's Saturday night for you. It won't probably just turn Sunday morning. It's midnight in the United States. So starting Monday for you, and I know you're going to be, I don't think you'll be awake or available to watch, but you can rewatch if you're curious on your own time. So I am going to announce, I guess I'll officially announce right now that this summer I'm going on a huge adventure and a huge expedition to Pakistan. Um, and it, you know, I'm going to be filming it the whole time. I think as a female solo traveler, a lot of people have told me not to go there, but I truly believe that it's one of the most misunderstood regions of the world. So starting tomorrow for me, so Monday, I'm going to start live streaming every day, Monday through Friday, training for Pakistan. So I'll be in the gym and every day, you know, like I have been going to the gym, but I'm realizing now it's, you know, almost the end of April. I'm going into July, and I'm going to Pakistan in July. A lot of this expedition is crazy, crazy hikes in high altitudes. I'm going to have to carry my backpack on my back for 9 hours, hiking through the Himalayas. And I want to step up my training in the gym to make sure I have the most endurance I could possibly have for this trip. So I'm going to start live streaming my training every week, Monday through Friday. And, tomorrow it'll be day one training for Pakistan. The next day it'll be day two training for Pakistan, and so on. So I'm going to be streaming how I'm training for this trip. And I think streaming it will help me in a lot of ways. It'll hold me accountable in the gym. Yeah, I'm building endurance and strength. Um, some days I'll be doing like strength training and weights and calisthenics, and then other days I'll be doing cardio because you kind of need both for a trip like this. Um, but it will hold me. Yeah, and if not, you can just watch if you're curious. Because I think the time of day I go to the gym here anywhere from 10 a.m. to like 11:30 a.m. and that's like 11 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. for you. And if you have school, I know that you're probably sleeping at that time. Um, so yeah, the streaming, I think it's gonna hold me accountable for like not resting so much between sets. I can watch it back and check my form because I don't have a trainer here. I don't have a coach here. So what I'm lacking is that feedback and that correction that I used to get from my trainer at home. Like, I had the best trainer in Brooklyn, and I'll definitely shout him out on the streams because I've learned everything from him, and things I've been doing in the gym. I've been watching his Instagram and trying to mimic those exercises. So it will, you're usually up. Oh no. Well, I don't, if you're up, you're up. But I don't want to keep you up for the stream, but if you're up, then fine. You're welcome to join. So that's going to be starting tomorrow. I'm really excited for that. I think it's going to help, like I said, hold me accountable. It'll help me check my form and make sure that I'm doing the exercises correctly. I'm sure plenty of people are going to come for me. Plenty of people are going to troll me because I'm not a pro athlete. I like to exercise for myself, and there are some times I'm going to fall. There are some times that I'm going to do things that aren't necessarily correct. So people will troll me, but I just really don't even give a fuck about the trolls. People troll me all the time. I don't care at all. I'm doing this for me. So I think that's going to be really exciting. It'll be every day, Monday through Friday, unless like something comes up or unless I have to travel. I know I have to go to Malaysia sometime before June. So if there's no like proper gym there. Exactly, you learn from your mistakes. So that's why I do want to start filming myself also, so I can watch myself back, because I really need to. Sometimes a mirror just doesn't do it depending on the exercise. So watching myself back will really, really help me. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be starting tomorrow, whenever I get to the gym, anytime between 10 a.m. and 11:30 a.m., which is 11 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. for you. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Stay tuned for that. And any other questions that you have, Michael, because I'm going to hop off and go to the beach, because I think, yeah, it's sunny today. I think maybe you're typing. Oh, not today. Okay. All right. So stay tuned for the training for Pakistan streams. You're going to go to sleep now. Okay. I hope you have a good night. And I'll talk to you again soon, whether it's on stream or on Instagram. Enjoy I think, is tomorrow your last day? No, you guys already went back to school. But enjoy your last day of the weekend. All right. See you next time.